The sirens tore through the quiet of my lakeside retreat, all because of a garish pink pool float. You heard that right. I'm out there, bobbing on my private lake, trying to piece myself back together after the ugliest divorce imaginable, when 3 cop cars screech up my driveway. Why? Because the HOA queen bee decided my inflatable boat was an assault on neighborhood standards. The sheer audacity. But here's where it gets wild. 3 minutes after those baffled officers peeled out, I made a phone call that would turn this entire community upside down. By the end of this tale, you'll see how one ridiculous float sparked a revenge plot so satisfying it could have been scripted, except it wasn't. I'm talking about a showdown that flipped power dynamics, exposed desperate secrets, and left everyone questioning who the real villain was. Let me set the scene. I'm Ethan Caldwell, 34, and 6 months ago, my life was a different beast. A brutal divorce after 8 years of marriage stripped me bare, leaving me with $300,000 and a shattered sense of self. My tech consulting gig had me pulling 6 figures, but when your ex demands half of everything, house, car, even the damn dog, you learn fast how fragile comfortable is. So, I did what any broken soul might. I bought a rundown ranch in the middle of nowhere, Texas, craving silence to figure out who I was without her. The place came with a private lake, which sealed the deal. Growing up near the coast, water always calmed me. After months of legal warfare and emotional carnage, calm was my lifeline. That pink float? A parting jab from my ex, probably meant to mock me. But it became my salvation. Every morning, I'd paddle out to the lake's center, book in hand, or just staring at the sky, letting the quiet stitch my mind back together. It was absurd looking, sure, but it was mine, and it was working until Margaret Hensley decided otherwise. Margaret, 58, is a retired principal who's ruled the Willow Lake Estates HOA like a general for 15 years. Neighbors whispered about her obsession with standards and her uncanny knack for enforcing every rule in the HOA's dusty handbook. I had no clue my float would set her off so badly she'd call the cops. The marina across the lake, her late husband Leonard's pride, was her sacred ground. Apparently, my boat was defiling it in ways I couldn't fathom. When the sirens hit, I was mid-chapter, floating peacefully. 3 officers stood on my shore, eyeing me like I'd poisoned the water. I paddled over, dripping and dumbfounded, as they mumbled about a complaint, inappropriate use of private property, and environmental hazards. Hazards? From a plastic float? I stayed calm, explained it was my lake, my boat, no threat to anyone. The cops, visibly annoyed, traded looks that screamed, "What a waste of time," then told me to sort it out with the neighbors and left. That's when I saw her, Margaret, arms crossed on the marina dock, smirking like she'd won a war. That smugness seared into me. She thought she'd crushed me. She had no idea what she'd unleashed. Fuming, I watched the cop cars vanish and grabbed my phone. If Margaret wanted to play dirty, I'd play dirtier. I called a real estate agent, asking about commercial properties near the marina. The agent's voice lit up. The marina itself's for sale. $1.2 million. Been on the market 3 months, motivated seller. My heart stopped. The marina, her precious legacy, was up for grabs? I scheduled a viewing that day, hung up, and stared across the lake at Margaret, still standing there like she owned the water itself. She'd sicked the cops on my attempt to heal. Fine. I'd buy her crown jewel out from under her. With my divorce settlement, I had the cash. More importantly, I had nothing left to losey a dangerous combo. But as I plotted, a nagging question crept in. Why did she care so much about a stupid float? Why was the marina for sale if it meant everything to her? I pushed those thoughts aside. She declared war, and I was ready to fight. That night, sleep wouldn't come. I kept picturing Margaret's smirk, the marina glowing under moonlight, my float bobbing innocently. Something bigger was at play, but I was too angry to care. I dove into research, public records, HOA minutes, property filings. What I found flipped everything. Margaret wasn't some power-hungry tyrant. She was drowning, pouring her life savings into the marina to keep it afloat. It needed $400,000 in repairs. The HOA had $50,000. She'd been secretly funding it, even mortgaging her house. The sale wasn't greed, it was her last-ditch effort to save Leonard's legacy by selling to developers who promised to modernize it. But my digging into their past projects revealed the truth. They'd gut the historic marina, slap up luxury condos, and call it tiny dock preservation. Margaret was about to trade her husband's dream for a lie, and she didn't even know it. My revenge fantasy crumbled. Instead of buying the marina to spite her, I started a video blog, Save Willow Lake Marina. I filmed its crumbling docks, shared its history, and asked if we should let it die. The response was electric. Locals flooded the comments with memories, kids learning to swim, proposals at sunset. The marina was the community's heart. Then I met Mrs. Larson, a 40-year resident, who showed me a photo that stopped me cold. My dad, James Caldwell, and Leonard Hensley, grinning in hard hats, building the marina in the 70s. They were best friends, and I'd never known. Margaret's panic was swift. She called an emergency HOA meeting, pitching the developer deal as the only way to save the marina. Her voice trembled, her hands shook. She wasn't a dictator, she was terrified. I stood to speak, armed with facts, but I blew it. I attacked Margaret's leadership, called her out of touch, and demanded better for the community. The room turned on me. Residents defended her 15 years of service, organizing events, helping neighbors, keeping property values steady. I'd misread everything. I was the outsider, the aggressor. After the meeting, Margaret approached me, her composure cracking. "You think I want to sell? I've mortgaged my house, emptied my accounts. Leonard built this for us, and I'm failing him." Her raw honesty gutted me. I'd been so wrong. That night, I posted an apology video, admitting I'd misjudged her. I revealed my dad's connection to Leonard and offered $300,000 to restore the marina, proposing a community trust. Margaret called the next day, voice heavy. The developer deadline was 9 a.m. tomorrow. If she didn't sign, she'd lose her house. She appreciated my offer, but was out of time. Then my lawyer called. My dad's will left $500,000 for lake preservation. He'd known this day would come. I met Margaret at the marina an hour before her developer meeting. When I told her about the inheritance, she didn't believe me. "Why would your dad care?" I smiled. He cared about Leonard. They planned for this. We proposed a trust model. I'd cover her mortgage, fund repairs, and preserve the marina's history. She'd lead as director, leveraging her community trust. At the emergency meeting, Margaret pitched our plan with steady conviction. I shared Dad's letters, his hope that the marina would always serve the community. Then Margaret read from Leonard's journal, written weeks before his death. "If I go, James will help Margaret save our dream. It's not just a marina, it's a heart." The vote was 80% for us. The developer slunk out. Renovation flew new docks, a restored boathouse, a pavilion. The pink float became our mascot, a quirky symbol of conflict turned connection. Then, digging for the pavilion, we hit a metal box. Inside were Leonard's letters, photos, blueprints, and legal proof the marina was always meant to be community-owned. His final note, written days before he died, predicted our fight and resolution. Property values soared 18%. Families stayed, businesses boomed. We founded a nonprofit, helping other communities save their landmarks. The marina's grand reopening drew 500 people. Margaret, now a vibrant leader, and I stood on the dock where our dads dreamed big. The pink float bobbed nearby. No longer a flashpoint, but a reminder, the best victories come when you realize you're on the same side. Was I justified in my anger, or guilty for attacking Margaret before knowing her truth? And that berry box destiny or coincidence? Drop your thoughts below.